Welcome, little one. This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you. You have been born into dangerous times. A sharp mind can be the key to survival. And in this regard, you will be superior to your more common brethren, for you are a commando, an elite unit, something truly special. Your weapons, your armor, and most importantly, your brothers. Delta 40, your foundation, a pure and uncomplicated soldier. 6-2, the heart and soul of your team. And 07, the fiercest hunter of all your brothers. You are each a piece of a whole person, and the Republic will call you to defend and give your lives if need be.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the SKIRATA Gaming channel for another video. I'm OriginalBonJovi, your host, and a really big fan of the Star Wars franchise. Now, full disclosure for anyone who might be new here, we usually upload content from Cold War, Warzone, or some other Call of Duty game. But today we're going to be taking a look at Star Wars Republic Commando in 2021. If you like gaming videos on a daily basis, be sure to leave a sub and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on anything. I also run a Star Wars channel of my own, which you're welcome to check out through the links in the description. It might seem kind of weird to cover this game from 2005 on a mainly Call of Duty channel, but SKIRATA Gaming has a long history with Republic Commando, or REPCOM as I'll call it for short, which makes it relevant even after all of these years. This organization was founded on REPCOM in July 2010, and I tried out and joined the following May. I think a lot of people who grew up in the 2000s remember playing the campaign pretty well. Unlike other Star Wars material back in those days, REPCOM focused on a whole new and unexplored side of that universe, the gritty, boots-on-the-ground, Jedi-free experience of Republic Special Forces. You play as Clone Commando Delta 38, nicknamed Boss, the commander of Delta Squad, who also happens to be voiced by Temuera Morrison. For the sake of having gameplay to talk over, I went ahead and recorded myself completing the first chapter of the game, which takes place on Geonosis. Delta Squad is deployed there during the events of Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. While the massive battle takes place above ground, our commandos are moving through the shadows to assassinate Separatist leader Son Fac, destroy a droid factory, and disable a Techno-Union command ship. You'll have to play the game if you want to find out what happens next, but I think that gives you a good idea of the tone and mood of the game. Last week, Republic Commando came out on PlayStation 4 and 5, as well as Nintendo Switch. To be clear, contrary to what Star Wars Theory titled his video, this is not a remaster. All you have to do is look at the graphics to see that. They definitely enhanced it to make it look as good as possible for a 16-year-old game, but it's nowhere near what we'd expect from a fully remastered version. As with other games in the PlayStation Store, they added trophies that can be unlocked by completing certain missions and challenges. For one of them, you have to complete the campaign without getting your visor dirty a single time. Needless to say, I haven't come close to doing that, and I probably never will. REPCOM is one of my all-time favorite games, and I've played through the campaign a dozen times at least, but I assure you, I don't love it enough to put myself through that trauma. They also added some quotations to the loading screens, which I find kind of interesting. I've been wrong before, so if they were in the original game, you're welcome to correct me in the comments section, but as far as I can tell, they were not there. Apart from trophies and the loading screens, I can't find anything new in this version of REPCOM. For those of us who had the misfortune of playing Modern Warfare Remastered with its new and improved microtransactions back in 2017, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. As they say, don't fix what isn't broken, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. Although I was really disappointed by the lack of multiplayer, that was more wishful thinking on my part than anything else, because realistically, bringing back multiplayer support would probably cost far more than simply porting the game over to current-gen technology. I didn't expect them to do that, but a guy can dream. Now I'd like to go over some general pros and cons. They're not specific to the PlayStation version of Republic Commando, just more or less my thoughts about the game looking back from 2021. I think the strongest feature is storytelling. Like I said before, REPCOM opened up a whole new side of Star Wars, and they did their very best to make it work. The dialogue and voice acting is fantastic, the banter between members of the squad is totally believable, and the sarcastic, jealous comments from infantry, combined with their complete inability to defend themselves, actually makes being a commando seem important.
We need a medic over here! Hey, 3-5, check it out! Commandos! If they're anything as good as I hear, they could practically win the war themselves.
One of the most unique and well-executed features of REPCOMM is the squad-based gameplay. As the commander of Delta Squad, you can tell your comrades where to go and what to do, whether it be taking a sniper position on a ridge, to manning a turret, to slicing a computer, to breaching a door. In many cases, whether or not you're able to complete the mission will depend entirely on what command strategy you go with. This can get annoying every now and then, but it requires both immediate problem-solving skills and taking a more objective view of the battle, and I really like that about this game. The enemies can be downright terrifying too. If all you've ever seen is the Clone Wars TV show and the movies, you don't get a real sense that there's very much at stake for the heroes, and the droids are often comic relief. But from the time you face the first super battle droid until you go head-to-head with a Magna Guard, I promise that you will stay on edge. It sort of reminds me of Mando struggling to take down one Dark Trooper in The Mandalorian. I'd also say that REPCOMM does a great job of world building. I only had time to record on Geonosis for this video, however, the same is true of the other settings in the game as well. The swarming Geonosians, the eggs hatching, the underground tunnels, the ground shaking from the huge fight taking place above. You get thrown right into the action, and it feels like you could be participating in the movie. I should probably mention that my favorite Easter egg in REPCOMM takes place on the Ghost Ship. Spoiler alert, if you discover an abandoned lightsaber, your character will mock the Jedi, saying, "An elegant weapon for a more civilized time, eh? Well, guess what? Times have changed." I remember grinning from ear to ear when I heard that as a kid. I want to be fair to the game considering it came out almost 2 decades ago, but the graphics are fairly dated at this point. Again, we're not dealing with a remaster here, so what you see right now is pretty much the same as it was back in the day. The mechanics are a bit clunky too. I'd actually say that they're not too bad, but having to toggle ADS on and off, not being able to change ADS sensitivity, things like that really get on my nerves, especially as a Call of Duty player. I played a ton of multiplayer on this game between 2011 and 2013, and oddly enough, there were some noticeable differences between the two game modes. For example, you can't aim down sight in multiplayer, it's all hip firing, but you can do that in the campaign. And although you can't dodge or sidestep in the campaign, you can do it in multiplayer. Sidestepping contributed to the multiplayer skill gap more than anything else, and I think that having it in the campaign would have made the game feel much more fluid and natural. So while I think REPCOMM was mechanically good for 2005, it could have been better, and a few changes like that could have done the PlayStation version some big favors. I realize I'm completely biased because I grew up playing and loving the game, but honestly, those are my only significant complaints. If I come up with anything else after I make this video, I'll probably mention it down in the comments section and we can talk more there. On the whole, Republic Commando was and still is a fantastic game. I think the multiplayer side kind of fell out of favor because Battlefront 2 came out shortly after, and it completely blew away the REPCOMM fanbase. Let me know what your favorite part is about the game though, and if you haven't picked it up on Steam, Xbox, or PlayStation, I highly encourage you to do that ASAP for a trip down memory lane. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching until the end, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.